All right, we are live for a Tuesday edition of the People's Talk Show. And it's been a minute, but nevertheless, we're here. Let's make the best of it. Hope everyone is doing well. And let me make sure everything is running on my end. As always, I had some issues the last time we connected, but looking forward to connecting, sharing my thoughts, as well as getting your opinion and takes on what's going on. And yeah, lots of things unfolding as always, never a dull moment. And so I noticed in the chat someone mentioned about me dialing in or checking in less. And so probably in the next weeks and months ahead, I'll probably do less live streams just due to a change of schedule, as well as just, as time moves forward, I kind of lose that buzz and that excitement really for logging in as much as I used to. So I got my hands and tied up in a lot of other things as well. So anyway, but I'm here. So nevertheless, let's have some fun and do what we can with it. Hope everyone's doing well. If you got any new members to the community, let me know where you're watching from. I definitely would love to hear your 2 cents on things. And so I got a couple headlines on my part. Didn't go through all the prior, stuff I used to do to get all set up and everything like that. And so I'm just going to probably more so scan some headlines, open up the phone lines, and give you guys a chance to call in, let your voice be heard, and we'll see where it takes us. And we'll just, have some fun tonight. That's the goal. And so I'll explain more of the little bit of a rant I started off with as we can get going. But anyway, curious to hear what you guys to keep an eye on. So this is the People's Talk Show, so I'll make sure it's about you guys and not necessarily about me. But anyway, let me acknowledge a couple people. Then we'll get into some headlines and keep it moving. All right, we got Chris checking in. Appreciate you, man. We got B Rad checking in as well. We got Barlight Broker checking in. JBW. What else we got going on here? Carl Lake checking in from Yashaba, Mexico. We got PM Galleria says Mike kicked in the hyper gear and getting us four corners around my spirit body. What else? All right, LBP checking in as well. Appreciate you. I just got back from Mexico. He said, just got back from Mexico. Customs didn't want to let me in till I showed my VA card. Really? I'm sure that's the story right there. What else we got? Okay, so a fair amount of people here, man. Appreciate you, Daryl. What's up, my friend? Hope all is well. Yeah, just keep it in. MS checking in. All right. So as always, I'm curious to hear what you guys are keeping your eyes on. And then on my end, taking a week off, I'm gonna do more time off just because, when I unplug, I'm not surrounded and inundated with the news, which I tend to keep up with so that I can have something to share with you guys. And so the more I unplug, the more refreshing it is to just stay unplugged. And so I really enjoy being able to have, time away from this type of mainstream media here. And so that's part of why I will be dialing back more, probably doing less live streams in the days ahead, more short form content, just because creating that stuff on the fly really keeps my juices flowing. And so I enjoy that a lot these days. So anyway, that's just kind of what I'm up to these days. Also, basically took a couple of days to get away and go hang out and get some sun, some fun by the ocean. So anyway, yeah, let me see what's going on, man. I want to start off with just some things that caught my attention via headlines. Nothing new, a couple stories, but with everything happening in the world these days, I've been, logging in forever talking about current events. So now I'm like, I'd rather just dial back a little bit and have some fun. What else we got here? Daryl says, you see Japan has started buying bonds. I have not. I did not. I did not see that. I know the Japanese yen has turned into a joke for the most part, so that doesn't surprise me one bit. More of the MMT in real time, so I don't doubt it. Last minute effort to try to keep the system together as best they can. Mike says, "Kidding about Mexico." Aloha, LD. How you doing? Appreciate you for tuning in. Also, think I'm streaming on Rumble as well. So if in my Rumble family over there, let me know what you guys got going on as well. So I'll give you a number, as you guys can see here, 313-462-0027. It'll be a number that you can call in and let your voices be heard as well. John B. Carl, crypto. Yeah, the currency, all fiat currencies is not going to be left standing at the end of the day. So I don't think it's necessarily this particular topic here. So anyway, let me get into some headlines. So I want to make sure I give everybody a heads up and an update. Let me get into this. So as of lately, I'm excited to announce, let me share with you real quick here. All right. So just for those who have not over at forpatriots.com/RTD, they're starting some emergency preparedness deals. And so I was looking at some of the prices, and it's really competitive with a lot of items here. And so we're going up to food, things of that nature. So if you guys are interested, there's a lot more things on this list here, and I encourage you to check it out. And if anything interests you, definitely go ahead and take advantage of those opportunities, just because it'd be worthwhile to have something before you don't. All right, keep it moving. Let me keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. All right, so what caught my attention there? Let me just thumb through some headlines real quick. I didn't do none of the quick summaries just because, I want to open the phone lines and hear from you guys and go from there. So, all right, but just because the mainstream media right now happens to be distracted with, and all eyes and ears glued into the Middle East, of course, is important. But then again, we all know what the ultimate cover up is all about, and it's the monetary system and the banks that underpin all this crap. And we got one of the too big to fail banks taking losses amongst many other. But it says Bank of America unrealized losses on securities rose to 131.6 billion. And so that type of figures there is very comparable to what we experienced in March. I don't remember the exact number in March that we talked about when SVB and all the other banks went belly up, but the losses are piling up, and there's no way of hiding it. So somebody's going to eat these losses, and you better believe it won't be the banks. So just to let you a little heads up as to what is some breaking news out here, they probably won't get much coverage just because of the overhype of the economic strength of our economy and all that crap. So just something to pay attention to if you guys are interested in this. Then here's another subject that caught my attention as well. While the world is unraveling at the seams quickly due to geopolitical turmoil, we got financial issues, we got society breaking down in all types of tiers. We got going to have an influx of probably 1 million citizens from Palestine coming this way at some point. They're working right along to try to perfect the CBDC game. So we got MasterCard and the Reserve Bank of Australia test CBDC on Ethereum utilizing authorized parties. And so it looks like we have the financial sector, AI, MasterCard, and central banks working together to try to pull off something. I wonder why they're working so hard and so fast, but we'll see. But nothing's changed there. They're still plugging along. And then what else we got here? The UAW is still going on, and they're ramping it up. And so it says Ford to lay off another 500 workers after UAW's surprise move hits Kentucky truck plant. And so it says brings Ford's total to approximately 2,400 strike-related layoffs. Yeah, this is all happening while the world is focused on Middle East. Then what else we got here? A little Middle East talk. It says U.S. takes key step toward using military force in case Iran enters the war. Now, I remember watching one of the previous generals. I'm not sure of his name offhand, but he was talking about the globalist ultimate plan was to take down every country in the Middle East. And Iran, to my knowledge, is the one that they were not able to successfully do. But why all of a sudden now is Iran the primary target? And of course, their relation to Hamas and Hezbollah and all them terrorist organizations. But it's no surprise whatsoever that we're in a world of destruction, distractions, and diversion tactics. And so a much greater war is on the horizon. It is inevitable, in my opinion. And so we just have to stay prayed up, because beyond that, there's not much that we can really do in the short term, just because they are going to do what they feel they got to do. All right, next one here. House Foreign Affairs Chairman says he's drafting a bill to allow U.S. military force in Israel. So the warmongers are itching for more war. And then this is another one here. Progressives call for the U.S. to take in some of the expected 1 million Gaza refugees. And so these are some of the things in the news that were, caught my attention amongst many other things. And so what I want to make sure I remind everybody to do, if you have not, I want to encourage you to join the Telegram page because I share more things throughout the day, and I usually grab them from there, or other members in the community, they share things on the Telegram, and I also use that as well. So if you want to have your story shared, as well as stay connected with the community during the day, join the Telegram. And that's the best way to keep in touch with RTD throughout the day. So I made sure to put the link to the live stream to the Telegram in the description. So if you guys scroll down beneath this video here, you can join the Telegram and go from there. So, all right. So enough of me ranting. That's pretty much all I had to say. Nothing new. It's not, and even scanning the airways for the news, it's just nothing really out of the ordinary. Everything is right on course. Everything is expected. None of this is exciting really to talk about. It's more so just sit back and watch as the powers that be try to basically end humanity, it seems at times. And so it's just not a real exciting time frame overall. And that's why I was like, as I mentioned, starting off, like just dialing back more live streaming. Because other than getting together, hearing thoughts, hearing ideas, trying to make sense of things, we all kind of know where we stand. We're in the midst of a ultimate spiritual, battle. And it's going to play itself out to the completion, the way the Bible tells us it will. It's not going to be pretty along the way, but then again, it's part of life. That's why I think the biggest thing we can do is more so pray heavily for our nation, other nations, our leaders, people in positions of power and influence, because those are the people who are pulling the strings behind the curtain. And definitely, God does answer prayer and can intervene in things according to His will. So it's ultimately let His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Anyway, all right. So let me stop ranting. Let me open the phone lines, man. Like I don't want to, take up too much time. I just want to hear from you guys. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up so that the algorithms can hopefully notify a few people. But other than that, let's get into the phone lines, man. So I'm gonna just open the phone lines up and hear from you guys, and we'll see where it takes us. If we get some calls, we will chit chat. If we don't, we can try it a different day. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well as always. That's what it's all about. All right, let me see what's happening out here, or highlight and throw out some thoughts, ideas, suggestions in the chat, and we can try to jump on those as well. Hopefully, I don't have any technical issues this evening. I know the last time I logged in, boy, lost my microphone and everything just flipped on me. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
How you doing, Mike? It's Joe from PA.
Joe from PA. What's going on with you, my friend? Give me some good news.
I just wanted to ask, not to get too personal, it seems like maybe something was irking you. You say you want to dial back more. I just wanted to say, like, is there something that was going on with YouTube? Because I know that there were some people that said they're giving up on YouTube and they're just going to buy Tilray. Like there was some content creators that said, you know what, I'm not going to be pushing videos out like that no more. If I want to make money, I'm just going to buy the Tilray stock, which is a cannabis stock, and just fall back. So I just wanted to see, like, is YouTube messing with your money or something like that? And I'll let you go.
Oh, appreciate you, man. Good question. Thanks for inquiring.
All right, take care.
Yeah, so I started off by mentioning about just dialing back more, just because on my end, like I've been doing the content creation now for next year, it'll be 10 years. And so when I initially got in, there was a lot of excitement and energy to get out here and learn and grow and experience through content creation. And I still have that. But then again, just the subject matter in general. The older I get, the more, in tune with other aspects of life that I start to focus on, to where, just focusing on the financial geopolitics and stuff like that doesn't have the same level of excitement that I had when I first got in the game. And so having done 7 years of live streams, interviewed, 200-300 interviews, and all the things I've been able to accomplish with this, it's more so at this point want to probably pivot and head into some other things and just continue to grow as a person and try to learn new things. And so at this current moment, everything I do with this channel, from the graphics to every aspect of learning how to grow a channel, I've pretty much done. And so it doesn't have the same appeal that it did years ago. So now I've just dialed back more so I can work on some other things and just basically diversify my skill set as well. So that's part of the reason. And then on top of that, like I said, maybe a year or two ago, for those who may not have been around, as we get closer in the middle of this whirlwind of a storm that's unfolding right now, the algorithm won't be too helpful. And so the channel in of itself doesn't have the impact it did when it was smaller. When I had maybe 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 viewers, I used to get a lot more participation because the algorithms was actually notifying those people who subscribed. And so now we're close to 38 or 39, not even 1% get notified. So it's like most people, they'll subscribe because they want to find more, but then again, they never get notified. So it's like fighting a big monster. It's like, it's not as exciting as well. So I'd rather, focus on other things and just, diversify myself a little bit. So that's kind of why a little bit. And so not completely giving up, but just why it's like just right now in the midst of all this craziness, other than just, going and grab negative stories, it's like, okay, I've done all the, prepare for the end of the world talks and get your gold, get your silver, like, okay, everybody who is plugged in, they know what time it is. And so not much really to say other than just to connect with like-minded people and give you guys a voice. And so that's what literally made me log in tonight was like, let me check in and see who is keeping an eye on what, and let me just talk to some people. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I got to this point. So, but I still enjoy the idea of creativity. It's just I want to create other things nowadays. That's all. And on top of that, this past entire week, what I'm saying, I was out of the country. So sitting in the sun, bad internet connection, wasn't plugged into the news. I was, having too good of a time. Oh man. Anyway, but good question, man. It says question RT thoughts on buying mining stocks, Barrett Gold and AG, Barrett Gold AG thoughts on these stocks going up. Yeah, I am a fan of certain mining companies. Of course, Barrick Gold is definitely a solid company, and so between interviewing a lot of these small miners and explorer companies, I am a fan. I do hold some myself, a variety of kind. And so I do believe that they will have upside as a result of the metals prices at some point in the future deciding to actually be unleashed. And so at that point, it'll be very beneficial. But I think in the long run, I'm not too confident about the mining space in general, just because I think if we reach that turning point where governments decide to literally come in and clamp down on everything, then they're definitely going to probably nationalize a lot of these mines and therefore basically leave the shareholders out with nothing, what I'm saying, type of thing. But then again, between now and then, there's a lot of opportunity. So yes, I do believe it's something worth having. So I do have those myself. And that's a part of my interest as well. Like in another, not to rant a little bit, but just having a chance to meet so many, well-connected individuals and talk with people and really get to know these companies, that's exciting as well because I want to get more involved with that. So trying to find out ways to, connect with, bigger, more influential people so that I can try to, improve and grow my network as well. All right, what we got here? Let me see. So yeah, phone lines are open. People give me a call as always. What else is on your radar? What are you keeping an eye on? What matters to you? What makes you happy? What pisses you off? Let the world know. This is an opportunity to let it be done. To let it be done. SAS Finance says silver and gold will help preserve your purchasing power and keep wealth outside the system. But yeah, that's about it. And that's what it's all about, wealth preservation, preserving some of your capital so that when the system unravels, you'll have something, hopefully, to reboot your own personal finances with. No guarantees at all, just because what we're all experiencing globally, I don't think mankind has really faced. And so when all this stuff blows through, there's no telling what it's going to look like. Therefore, like I always said, it's good to have between now and the unknown. But after the unknown, like when everybody comes to the realization that they've been screwed, it ain't gonna be a pretty world to live in, not to say the least. Ammo's guns, getting rid of the government will though. Good luck with that. As I always say, mankind's greatest crisis is a governance crisis. And at this current moment, the governing forces at work, they're not going nowhere just because underneath them happens to be a very wicked and evil spiritual force that is all a part of God's plan. And so it's only one is going to squash all that. We all know who that one is. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Yo, Mike, man, it's Gio from New York City.
Well, Gio, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
I am good, man. So I got a few updates for you, Mike. Very, very important updates. And for all the gentlemen that's listening right now, this is very important. So I want to talk a little bit something about the dating economy.
The dating.
So just
okay.
The dating economy. So let's just say that social media right now is a big facade, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's just say that I'm talking to someone who portrays to be quote unquote bougie on Instagram, but in reality, her bank account is dying. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say that it's in shambles. So recently I had a birthday dinner and I invited her out and she was complaining because she couldn't split a $50 dinner bill.
Mhm.
And I'm like, there's no way that some of these people could be that broke, Mike.
Uh-huh.
And I found out why. So let's just say that she used to work in tech. She got laid off 3 months ago. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And in those 3 months, she has yet to find another job. So that's how I know that the tech sector is getting hammered.
Yeah.
For anybody listening that's working in tech, you probably know what's going on.
Yeah.
So she was hoping to get a job at Google because, you know, you could see some of those viral TikTok videos regarding like the, you know, my life at Google or whatever.
Yeah.
These people are getting paid well over 6 figures, right?
Uh-huh.
So she was hoping to get a job there, but it looks like that's not happening anytime soon, Mike. So for those working in the tech sector, I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a rough 2023 and rough 2024, especially with the rise of AI.
Yeah, I agree, man. But hey, thanks for calling and sharing that, man. I haven't even thought about that level of finance.
Yeah,
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. So you put gentlemen out there, if you're dating a woman, please make sure that she's employed, at least some sort of job, man, because these women, they don't have no type of money, Mike. You got to be careful out there, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, caller.
All right, man. Take it easy,
man.
Thank you.
Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Ed. How you doing?
Hey, doing good, my friend. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, just a quick thought. You know, I kind of get. I'm not speaking for you. I'm saying what's happening to me is everything has. There's so much going on at once, and you got the war here, you got the economy, and you know we've been doing this for years. You know, and it gets repetitive. But right now, it's like overwhelming. And the thing for me is, you hear about what's going on with Russia. And then, what's going on with Iran, what's going on with the economy, and what's going on with the speaker. And the worst part about it is, if you could rely on being told the truth and form an opinion, it would be America as we once knew it.
Yeah.
But, everybody's got an agenda. Everybody's got an angle. So, I probably trust 20% of what I hear. How can I form an opinion on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, man. And so that's like, information overload. Information overload is one thing I've been talking about for quite some time, especially given the fact that everybody here, more than likely, you are tuned in to stories that happen to impact your finances, geopolitics, and the like. And so it's like there's a such thing as taking in too much negative Nancy type news to where it can weigh on you heavily. And then, of course, most of the doomsayers, and that's why people to give dates, times, locations of everything coming to the end. I'm like, dog, like, come on now. Like, nobody has got nothing right. Like I've never, claimed to like, on this day, no, because it's been going on and on forever. And that's just a part of the system. So I think a part of this whole psyop of a world we live in is that, it's always something to keep you glued in to where you can literally sometimes forget to actually go live life and have fun and enjoy life while you got it. So that's kind of where I'm at these days.
Yeah, and I understand totally because I do it as a hobby. You do it as a job.
Yeah.
So that much more overloaded. But I think I enjoyed it more when I trusted what I was hearing. Now, I used to be a big Fox guy, and people say, "Oh, you're a big Fox News fan." I'm like, no, I don't trust them. I don't like them at all. I think they're too far to the left.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I could just rely on truth, the real truth is the Word of God, and I'm trying to get into that every day and live life, love God, love people. And, my new thing is live large. I'm old. I got a little bit of money. I'm going to live large while I can.
I hear you, man. And so I'm getting older, but, I don't buy into the traditional concept of, work hard as you can now, set aside funds in this particular account. And then when you get 65, you can retire and then enjoy life. So I do the reverse. You know what I'm saying? I work hard, I play hard as best I can right now. And so I'm going to travel every chance I get. So every month I'm going somewhere or something like that. So I'm like, I'm going to live and enjoy it because that's just what I enjoy doing. It makes me happy to be able to go to foreign lands. And so while I can travel, I'm going to travel. So.
And, actually the whole mess we're in kind of put us in that frame of mind. It's like, well, I can go to Florida for 2 weeks. Well, I'm going to go for 2 months because I might not go next year. You know what I mean?
Very true.
So much is up in it. So I am going to 2 months on the beach, 7-story penthouse, January and February this coming year, Lord willing.
Lord willing. Hey, man, have fun, man. Definitely. I'm sure you'll keep us plugged in And I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, thank you. One last word.
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
hard part is living large without being large. That's what I'm fighting right now.
I hear you, man. Thank you for calling, man. Good to hear from you.
All right, praise the Lord.
Yeah,
Mike.
be good. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, people. Let's keep it going. What else we got going on here? And so let me acknowledge, let me see. Kwame King, appreciate you, man. Thank you for being a blessing right there. Appreciate it. All right, what else we got? Feel free. Let's get the phone lines open, man. Like any brave and courageous souls out there that have probably been plugged in for some time but never called in, this could be your moment. Why wait? You're never guaranteed another time. Just playing. Yeah, like so it's just like I especially dialing into this news subject matter often, I notice so much, and of course it's all opinionated information at this point. It's usually after an event occurs, then the leading commentator, analyst, or whoever they are, alternative media person such as myself, like especially in the alternative media space, when you're trying to create content, you try to be the first to get a story out. And it's like I used to, my time schedule was different. I used to literally be able to record more often, and so I would love to be the first one to get a story out with my spin on it. But I'm like, now, I just, even when I watch a lot of content creators, the headlines, world coming to an end, click this now and watch. I'm like, come on, dog. Like, so it just that stuff, it gets old and it gets boring. Like the creativity out of creating is gone. And that's where I'm like, I don't want to fall victim to that. And that's why I'm like, it is a such thing as just doing too much and not accomplishing anything at all. And I was like, okay, Michael, check yourself. Check yourself, buddy. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Mike, Tony from Oakland. How you doing, brother?
TB, doing good, my friend. What's going on with you?
Oh man, I'm kind of hurt, man.
What's going on?
I'm hurting because I figured you would have something to say on what's going on in Israel, and being a man of faith,
yeah,
you would put out a take for that. But I find out that a lot of these people I'm not putting you in that category by no means.
Yeah,
I find out that there are people out there that could say something, choose not to say something for a reason. And and every time I see somebody that is of like mind, and they choose not to say what's really going on, it hurts me. It hurts me to death. What is your opinion on what's going on in Israel?
Well, to be honest with you, other than watching regurgitated news stories, I have not literally been paying close attention. And so, other than the stories I hear and the tweets I see, other than seeing that, I have so there's two different sides of this. There's the biblical reference of what will take place in the Middle East, which I don't think we're there quite. And then there's the globalist, puppet master, string whoremongering individuals, i.e., the collaboration between the U.S. and Israel, looking for another diversion tactic to go along with all the other chaos happening now. And in the midst of all that, there's no such thing as any amount of lives that's not vulnerable or not at risk for things like this. So it's a spiritual element to it, and then there's a natural element to it. So I have opinions on both of those, but once again, sticking to what I try to focus on, it's more distractions and diversion tactics to keep our eye off what is really the issue, and it happens to be in the monetary realm. So that's a snippet of what I believe. But on the spiritual side, I know that there's going to be lots of chaos in that region because Jerusalem is the most important place on this planet. And from that actual spot, the king himself will reign regardless of what anybody from any other religion or any other country or any government or anything Satan tries to do. It doesn't matter. So between now and then, we're going to see all types of distractions and diversion tactics. It's going to be millions of lives lost along the way. But in the end, Christ will reign. That's my opinion on that.
Okay. So what do you think the U.S. I mean, the U.S. doesn't need Israel to take on Hamas in Jerusalem or down in the whole Israel. They don't need the U.S. Why is the U.S. sending ships that way?
The same
It's
way.
not financial, I don't think.
I just think it's just the same reason the U.S. would love to continue to support Ukraine, but they literally have a new vassal. They got a new puppet nation right now that they can also fund. Just the fact we're yelling, coming out, and Biden coming out saying we can be in 2 wars at once. We got the funds. Yeah, okay, all right. So, like, beyond, like, I think that Israel and that nation, that state, the people who are overseeing that nation, which happen to be a lot of the oligarchy families that run the central banks in the world, they call a shot. So they can easily put in a call or text to all of our departments of justice, FBI, CIA, and say, hey, this is going to be this diversion tactic. Send all the troops this way because we want to distract the world and do this and accomplish this. So at the end of the day, who all is a part of it, we're gonna find out. But once again, like, I don't think none of this is a genuine grass-hearted mission that Israel is trying to accomplish. But then again, I could be wrong.
Okay, life is a book. It reads as a book,
Mm-hmm.
and if the book doesn't make sense, then you can't trust the book.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at who Biden went to go visit, he went to go visit the oil countries.
So yeah,
why would he
surrounding
go visit the
countries.
oil countries? Why didn't he just go over to Israel and then shoot the whole land up?
Well, as of now,
Netanyahu, my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
My opinion is that Netanyahu got voted out a few years back,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's back in there. But I don't know how he got back in there, but they say it was legit.
Yeah,
he's back in there, and then he starts this, and it's always been about the land.
Mm-hmm.
They continue to take more and more and more and more and more land.
Mm-hmm.
But the U.S. is there because of Syria. Syria was supposed to have a pipeline built that supplied, and I would encourage you to do a quick take on this.
Yeah, I remember.
Give you something to do.
I remember hearing about the pipeline. This was back when Obama's red line, like, I'm not crossing the red line. And, yeah, I remember. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So Syria decided not to go with that pipeline to supply Europe. And now, what is Europe's oil status now? They're begging the U.S. for oil.
Yeah.
Russia cut off oil to Europe and selling it for less of a dollar amount on the market. The U.S. has to ship their oil over to Europe at a higher price.
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. has to get back into Syria.
Okay.
Is my opinion.
Right.
Have to get back into Syria and start that pipeline again. Otherwise, we got hell to pay.
So outside of, I saw something, I heard something about, Israel sent a couple hot rockets up to Syria, claiming that there was one of the terrorist cells sending missiles their way. So you're thinking that, like, eventually, they're gonna pivot and they're getting close to Israel, and the oopsie doopsie, a missile some stuff gonna go up in Syria or what?
No, I think the U.S. is going to go over into the Mediterranean and shoot missiles over to Syria because that's where the terrorists are.
Now, how do you think Russia and China going to respond, being that they now have infrastructure as well and support of Assad? So what do you think they're going to do? Stand by and do nothing?
Oh no, it's not even that. Let's say Israel is blue. Everybody else around Israel is red. You ain't gonna lob a missile over into one of my brother's territory and don't expect me to come back at you.
Right.
I don't say, hey, Al-Basir or whoever the hell his name is that's over in Syria. You take a missile and lob it over here in my brother's land. You got hell to pay.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that, man.
Definitely.
And I'm telling you, that's my feeling on it. They're trying to get back into Syria through Israel.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody's got a dog in the fight. Israel get their land, get more land, and more land, and then the U.S. goes and just lobs over to Syria, try to get back in it. The U.S. already controls a third of Syria. Nobody knows that, though.
And they got, they're
trying to get.
I know. I've been hearing more and more over the last couple months, I think, of hearing stories about how U.S. troops are already there. They've been there all along, but then again, it's got hush under the mainstream media. So you say how much do they control thus far? Because I don't know the figures.
They control a third of it, but the third that they control, the only reason that they control it is because they go through Turkey to get to there.
Okay.
So and then Turkey, Turkey, Erdogan or whatever his name is, he dibbles and dabbles on both sides.
Yeah.
And so you got to watch him. He's a snake in the grass. And one time he's gonna turn on you, and then you're gonna be like, "What happened?" With Israel, I don't even think it's the biblical thing. But if you go back and do research, way back in the 40s and the 30s, when they got divided up and settled, Israel has always been nomads wherever they went.
Yeah.
And the only reason they came up was because they were middlemen in every transaction they had. If you listen to them and listen to what they say, it's always about Israel was the money changer. Israel was the money changer. If I control the money, I control everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. And I actually saw a map, like a map, a timeline from the initial, from the start of Israel as a nation up until this point, and the amount of territory they've taken is very. I mean, it's not surprising at all, but just a hot map over time as to how they've been literally pressing, and to the point where now this could be the final hoorah of them trying to take all that territory, which they should have took centuries, centuries ago, but still.
Nobody's going to fall for that. It was not given to them. It was given to the Palestinians.
Yeah.
And in the UN Charter, it was given to the Palestinians. So if the UN allows them to take over that land again, the UN's going to have hell to pay.
But who's going to be the enforcer of that?
Oh, all the Muslims that are around Israel, they'll just cancel their charter with the UN, and UN will be defunct.
Yeah. So, like right now, as you're talking, I found that little map. I found that map I was referring to from 1946 to the establishment of Israel as a nation until 2008. Just a little map here. I don't know how accurate it is, but just to show you how over time the Philistines have been, condensed into the smaller strips of land. So they pretty much already control the entire country, Israel, referring to Israel. So
Israel is control most of the country anyway.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to take all of it and make it theirs when when everything says that it was Palestinian.
Yeah, but also, going back, centuries, millennials ago, when it comes to the Philistines and just the land of Canaan, according to the promise given, that all that region plus some will eventually fall back into the hand of the Messiah. So, as of right now, it's an arguable debate because there's different governments at play. But when we're down to our last government, the one that matters most, all that land's going to be his anyway. It's already his now. It's just not officially in the hands of his chosen ones just yet, but it will be in the future.
And all of that is according to if you believe who wrote those books.
Correct.
That's what it boils down to.
Correct.
But I think that before this whole thing shakes out to the way that everybody thinks it's going to shake out biblically, that this world's going to be in a different way.
Yeah,
it's going to end a different way, and that no one's prepared for.
Right, I agree with that 100%. But hey, man, I appreciate your call.
Yeah, brother.
Good to hear from you, my friend.
Man, I like to see you on here more often, man, but I understand your position.
All right, man, be good.
All right, brother, I love you.
Yeah, love you too, man. Bye. All right, my good people. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, and that's where, it boils down to, when it comes to that particular territory. I have an opinion, but my opinion is less important than what I believe is truth in reference to what's in the book. And the book I'm referring to is the good book, which I got a copy of it right here, just because. So if I go back to the end of this book here, the things that must take place, I believe is truth. And so whatever I think should happen or shouldn't happen is irrelevant because it's already been determined. How it plays out between now and the end has already been determined. So what they do, how they do it, it's unfortunate. It always hurts me to see lives lost. But then again, that's a part of the greater plan for ultimately saving the human race. There's going to be an unimaginable amount of lost souls that choose to deny Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Those souls also are at stake right now. Outside of the blood and the gore and all the stories we're seeing, they're going to give us the worst on TV. But then again, the ultimate loss is complete separation from your creator. That's a terrible tragedy. So that's why, like, I don't really have an opinion just because it's already been written. So it's like, I can share with you what I think, but then again, it's not really important because I can't control any of that. All right, and try to get a couple more people on here if I can. So it looks like I got somebody. So this is what happened when you got, okay. Hello, caller. What's name are you calling from? Steve from FEMA Region 9. How you doing, my friend? FEMA Region 9.
I'm doing good. Just following up after the TV call there.
Yeah.
As you know, without hesitation, I believe everything in that Bible will take place.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about Syria. If he looks up Isaiah chapter 17, at some point Damascus, Syria is going to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in Isaiah chapter 17. That hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
And Israel did say a couple of days ago that if Hezbollah gets involved, then that basically comes out pretty much out of Syria, pretty much. Israel already said that they'll destroy Damascus.
Mm-hmm.
And that's right there in the Bible.
Yeah.
That's going to happen at some point. When it happens, I don't know. We can sit back and see, but I believe everything in that Bible will take place.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as all of the political moves around the world, the world's run by Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Satan's been given permission to run this entire thing for right now. So there, as Steve Quell says, there are no political solutions to spiritual matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's just pretty solid.
Right.
But anyway, I wanted to touch on that, and also just for the fun of it, I'll touch on the guy from New York. He called about the dating scene.
Yeah.
He had me laughing.
I know that was a good one. I didn't think about the dating scene. I'm assuming he's single or whatever. I'm like, I don't know nothing about that. So I was curious, like, what's going on out there?
Yeah, that had me laughing because just recently, and people can look it up on YouTube. This is just for entertainment purposes here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was some guy who took a young lady out, and I guess he took her to the Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm.
So all you got to do is just YouTube guy takes girl to the Cheesecake Factory.
Uh-huh.
And I guess she didn't want to go to it was the first date.
Uh-huh.
And she didn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory. She thought that he should have took her to a higher end thing. So basically the date goes bad.
Uh-huh.
And she refuses to get out of the car. Just pull her up on YouTube sometime.
Okay.
That's what when the guy from New York called, that's what I was thinking about when he was talking. I was going, man, I just saw that video a couple of days ago.
So yeah, I as you were talking, I pulled it up, and so I see a couple.
Yeah.
So it's trending pretty big out there.
Oh yeah. She definitely went viral for all the wrong reasons. But it made sense when the guy called in from New York and he was talking about the dating thing. Cause that's the first thing that popped in my head was that. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. And hey, also watch that clip from this past weekend, Saturday Night Live,
Mm-hmm.
where they spoofed Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spoofed Deion Sanders on there. That was funny, man. But anyway, I'll go let some other callers get in there, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, God.
Thanks, and you. Good stuff, man. Get some people on here. Let me get you on here. Give me 1 second here. I should get it. Man, wish I could. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
What's going on, Mike? This PM Galleria from NY.
PM Galleria from NY. How you doing, my friend? Give me some good news.
Good. You know what the good news is? I think that it's a good thing. I wouldn't call it stagnation, but I think when you get to them points like you're feeling right now, when you step back, that's the moment when you have to search for that room to grow.
Yeah.
You begin to grow and move on to that next plateau, you know, because you reach in certain stages where you've been there, done that, you get that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what, too? I remember that times early on in the show days, we used to go visit places and show us what life is like in other parts of the world, you know, what your finances like, how the people are, how the culture is. And I was just thinking back on that, and it's funny because I was just talking the other day to someone about going around and seeing all those places from biblical times, like, you know, they got the body of Pharaoh somewhere, things like that, seeing the you know, just the tombs and just things like that, you know, where, you know, take your audience somewhere else and maybe expand and grow with them. You know, maybe go to some forums, see how it is out there, and, you know, show them what it's like to go get some fresh food or fresh meat from a farm and, you know, cut up a whatever, beef or a cow or whatever, you know. But it's just those growing points, you know. That's all I mean to say. Just one other note, too, for one caller was talking about the stuff happening over there in the Middle East. Right now, you know, there's certain signs that we're supposed to look for the coming in, and some of those signs are apparent, some of them they're not.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is just one of those happenstances in between. And if we go back and we look at the story of Joseph, it'll let you know everything that's going down. That's 7 years of good times, 7 years of famine. Those are boom bust cycles. How the people went through the land and how he stored his money and how he divvied it up and what the government doing, what people were doing, what they were selling. It gives you the whole game plan of what we're going through. There's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
Nothing. We may have experienced this in our lifetimes or in our recent generation lifetimes, but it's all there for us. All the information that we need to be prosperous in this life and hereafter is already given to us.
Right.
So nobody should be taken off guard by anything unless you just intentionally are keeping your eyes closed.
Right. Right.
But going back to that, the Middle East thing, listen, man, the U.S. is just a mask. Those psychopaths, they put that mask on and run out there whenever they need to do some killing or whenever it goes on. We all know that the U.S. is funding every single side, from the Ukraine, who swat stickers. I'm just going to say it like that. Israel, we know with the denomination of them. Hamas, they've given all of them funds, given all of them weapons, and they step back. What do you think is going to happen between? You know it's going to be a problem. But the U.S. knows that. But who funds the U.S.? We know the central banks do that. Who owns the central banks? Other banks that are owned by those families.
Right.
Those particular families. And those families, believe it or not, they'll even kill their own people because they're psychopaths.
Right.
But they aren't homicidal. I mean, they aren't suicidal. They're homicidal, right? Because they serve a different master than we do. A different one that even propose to their own people. They serve that false Messiah and all the rest of them and them demons and that army. That's why they do things like that. It's not about money to them. People think about money. But if you notice something, when people obtain a certain status of wealth, it no longer means anything. They discover that the only thing that means something is power and the legacy that you leave.
Right.
You know, and that's why they start saying, I want to go into space and I want to carve my face on the moon and I want to do because it's new. And they understand the game, that it's an illusion of having and that's worth something, but it's not, you know. What I would say might be dig deeper, man. Maybe it's time to expand onto a new audience again and revisit those people that haven't heard or haven't been reached, because believe it or not, everyone here, I feel as though everyone even listening and tuning into not even just your channel, but any channel like this that's telling them the truth, it is a blessing. It is a blessing. Number one, to have the truth come to you. Number two, to have your ears open to look and hear it and understand it and have it go into your heart. And then the next blessing is to act on it, to be able to act on it, have the ability and the drive to act on it. Not everybody has that. Not everybody got that. You know, Mike, it was a time where I was asleep for a very, very, very long time. And then a certain thing, I got the kids in the back. But, you know, certain things I heard and I said, what? What is this? I never heard about this. I never heard about that. I never knew this is the cause of that. Inflation, all these other strange words. But once you learn and you go down that rabbit hole, it's like, how could I have been so asleep? How is that possible? And there's people out there that if you unplug them, there'll be soldiers in the army, man.
Yeah.
You just got to keep searching and hunting and bring yourself to that next plateau. Maybe it's time you write a book. Maybe it's time you go on tour or something, man. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Bring your audience somewhere different, you know? Because sometimes, too, I tune into channels that show me about the other side, you know, about what goes on and what's going to occur afterwards. You know? I know what I'm going through now, and I see the pain and suffering around.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that's coming, but what's after the storm?
Yeah.
You know, so like that may be part of it. But I ain't gonna eat it up, Mike. I'd love to hear from you. Love the show, man. We out here. We still here for you, man.
Appreciate
Everybody
you, man.
Stay.
Thanks for the love, my friend. Thanks for the love and the wisdom. Thanks for calling in. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. A lot of powerful stuff in those statements there. Yeah, man. Yeah, just like speaking of growth and development and all the necessities for life, like, you know, not remaining stagnant. And so, not saying that that's kind of like where I'm at, but that's kind of like what I've been sensing over the last couple years in regard to just these particular subjects that I focused on for this channel. And that's played into how I've decided to dial back some and just, you know, try to work on other skill sets and things of that nature, as well as travel, do other things I like, focus on other habits, hobbies, and things like that. So I think that's for everybody. Like everybody, you know, from day one of having your aha moment or being red pilled to where you woke up and realized that we're in a matrix, that, you know, none of this is really being controlled. You know, not none of it, because we still have, you know, personal willpower as well as a will to choose. But then again, all around us over in general has been created. This whole facade of a world we live in has been created. Like, just to think about an average day of the week from Monday to, like, how Friday is everybody's greatest day and Monday is more heart attacks ever because people don't want to go to work. So it's like, think about that model that has been framed for us through the industrialization, from the agricultural society, the industrial society, to now we're transitioned to this technological advancing economy where AI and robotics is about to reshape things. We're all going to go through a reset, whether it be personal or intentionally because of technology. So, you know, improving yourself, building yourself, growing, you know, especially in the spiritual sense, because like literally, like I'm more than confident that I would not be able to do anything whatsoever. And the times in my life when I was playing my own God, I ruined it. Like, I'm still suffering from things I did when I was younger based upon decisions I made. It was dumb because I didn't know no better type stupidity. So I'm sure we all have stories that we can tell, but thank God that God doesn't give up on us. He didn't give up on me. I'm sure he didn't give up on you. So there's always, hopefully, a tomorrow to make better decisions. So that's a part of this journey we're all on. So as time moves forward, the goal is try to figure out what, how, where, when I can pivot if at all. And on top of that, you know, as far as, you know, people who are tuning in right now, like, what other hobbies or interests or subjects or topics that interest you? Like, you know, tapping into those things, either creating a business off of them or learning about them to teach others, or preparing yourself for the future that is being shaped right now with all that technological stuff I was talking about. So I don't know where I was going, but you guys get my drift. There's always room for growth. And so that's kind of where I want to head towards as best I can. Only thing real is Mother Nature. She makes bees, trees, and leaves. The spoken word. All that came into existence because of the spoken word. Let there be light. And it was just that simple to me. And I was talking to my son, you know, I was trying to encourage a teenager to get into the word more. And that's one thing that's different between this generation. You know, I first got saved at 16. And prior to that, due to how I operated, I was a reader. I was very curious. And from 16 onward, my life has been, you know, thank God he never gave up on me, but, you know, it's been that way upward. But I always had a fascination with the word of God. And so nowadays, because of cell phones, kids don't have no interest in reading books in general, especially sports minded kids. So trying to get my sons to get into the word is like, you know, of course, to each his own, but I'm going to try to live it, practice it, preach it, give it to him whenever I can. But I bought my son a study Bible. And so I'm trying to encourage him to get into it more so he can have a relationship for himself and hopefully fall in love with the word of God. So just like, if I got parents out there that dealing with the same thing, let me know in the chat. Shoot me an email. Let me know how that's going. Just because, just, it's different. Nothing's new under the sun. But then again, like, we didn't have cell phones 30, 40 years ago. So distractions and diversion tactics. Yeah, man. Kalia says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, teach your children in which way they should go, and they'll never depart from it. 100%. 100%. And that's one of the things that I rely upon, because literally I know that was my part of my story. Like, I know my grandmother, my mom, I know they was praying for me, boy, because I needed it. And I'm glad I never fell far from the tree. I was able to come back home. God gave one commandment when he put Adam in the garden. Enjoy. Let me, give me this covered up. It says, enjoy everything that he made. Everything after that was made up. Very true. But it's all a blessing. All good gifts are from above. So, anything that comes your way that you deem is good, it came from a source. And the source, he's good. All he knows is how to be good. Now, as a result, the fallen nature of mankind and sin, because that is the ultimate, I would say sin is like a plague. Yeah, sin is a plague. It's been plaguing humanity since the beginning, or since the fall of mankind. But thank God that there has been a way out through the blood of Jesus Christ and that cross. Thank God for his sacrifice, man. Anyway, I can get all preachy, man. But then again, that charged me up. So maybe I need to start an RTD Sunday church session. We just get into the word on Sunday. Just let the word have its way in our lives. Oh man. Anyway, well, I'm not going to rant no more. It's almost approaching an hour. I can go on and on and on. And I have missed a lot of calls, so forgive me. But I'll try to keep it under an hour as best I can, just because it can go on forever when you're having a good time with good people. But as always, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. And if you have enjoyed the back and forth and the calls and things of that nature, and want to see some more live streams, show your boy some love, hit that thumbs up, and I do the best I can. And the biggest thing is just trying to find something that works, that just resonates with my heart, so that I have fullness of joy when I'm doing it. That's what I want to get back to. Well, anyway, my good people, be blessed, be safe, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow, Lord willing. All right. Peace.